Hey guys, welcome to the Big Three, Strive, Thrive, Live. And as I say every time, Neil, live the life that you deserve. It's cheesy, but I've been using it for so long, I'm committed.
That's it, it's part of the program now.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, introducing my good friend.
G'day guys, my name's Coach Neil. I'm the CEO and founder of Black Dog Coaching.
Wow, there you go. And so coming up, the reason why I did want to talk to Neil, especially as you can know through the Big Three, I've been doing 21 days of failure and failing. So today's post that I put up was how if you have a goal and you make a plan to reach that goal and you fail in a plan that doesn't work out towards that goal, but not to stop because you know sometimes a plane takes off against the wind.
100%.
Sometimes not all plans work because there's so many considerations as far as environment, other people's choices, and things that we don't see that we forecast come up, and they can be a big hindrance sometimes. And sometimes even we think that we're going to get positive feedback from people, and they don't say the feedback that we want. Yeah, like sometimes people will say, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and then they'll be like, "Oh, why are you going to do that? That's stupid." But and in our mind, we thought, "Oh, I thought it was a good idea." And sometimes those remarks can lead us to failure because we lose self-belief.
Absolutely.
You know, and so we never sort of come into some sort of compromise for that. And sometimes it's not just mental; it's also environmental. But the idea is to never stop giving up. Never give up on your goals. Even if the plan doesn't work out, don't give up on your goals. So a big thing for me is a proud member of the Black Dog Brotherhood in coaching.
Oh!
Is to be able to introduce everyone to something that's coming up in the next 2 weeks. Can you just tell us a little bit about what's happening, brother?
Absolutely. So August 21st through the 23rd, at this point in time down the Gold Coast hinterland, we're going to be running a Black Dog Brotherhood retreat. So that's open for existing members of Black Dog Brotherhood and any man who feels like they are struggling with any sort of mental health condition or simply feels like they've lost, they've got a lack of purpose in their life or a lack of direction inside of their life. So the retreat focuses on not so much fitness and nutrition, although we do touch on that and there is some fitness aspects to it, but it's a lot of the mindset side of the house that we coach inside of Black Dog Coaching.
So to give you a little bit of idea of what's been going on, we have such things as dealing with helping coach people through techniques to help them with depression, anxiety. We have workshops on that.
Yes.
We're also going to do an ice bath immersion.
Cold water immersion, yeah.
What is that? Why don't you do hot water?
So the theory behind this is a whole video of its own. So cold water immersion, if you're not familiar with it, step one, Google Wim Hof. So he's the guy who made cold water immersion famous. So there's a myriad of benefits with cold water immersion, ranging from physiological benefits right through to psychological benefits. For me personally, the cold water, the benefits of forcing myself to get into an ice bath, the benefits of forcing myself to be immersed in cold water every single day, it's a win because I hate it every single time. From a psychological perspective, there's nothing worse than climbing into a cold shower in the morning, especially when it's the middle of winter. But when you do it and when you fight through and when you make yourself do it, yeah, it's uncomfortable for the first minute. The breathing techniques that you learn with it help you to mitigate that cold, and you actually get to a point where you don't feel the cold anymore. The breath work helps you to get through the cold. Yeah. But when you step out from that cold water, you feel amazing. Not just because you've got a surge of positive hormones and neurotransmitters surging through your body from the cold water, but because you've done something that made you uncomfortable, and despite the fact that you hate it, despite the fact that it's uncomfortable, you still push through and you do it.
Yeah.
Anybody who's never done it, I encourage you, just try a cold 3-minute shower. Yeah, it sucks balls. Yeah, it's cold. But pay attention to how you feel the second you step out from it.
Yeah. All through life, there's always going to be challenges. Doing this sort of thing gives you a great absorption into building the resilience towards facing the bigger challenge, which is your goal. This could be part of a plan to work towards a bigger goal. A cold shower turns into a cold bath with ice, and then that bath turns into more ice, and eventually you work up to it. And so, guys like Lockie, Aaron that came into it.
Coach Lockie.
Yeah.
Wim Hof Lock.
Yeah, he is, man. And we're seeing not just his physiological changes, but his mental grasp on how he sees himself, and now how he functions as a father within his family unit has just been pronounced tremendously. Well, I'll take my hat off, but
I've seen Lockie come in from day one of the program
Yeah.
where he came in as a broken human being. Really, he was fighting with alcohol. His marriage was struggling. He was just struggling, and right now he's actually gone through our program to the point where he's now become Coach Lockie, and he is a mentor inside of Black Dog Coaching, teaching other men about meditation and cold water immersion and breath work. He is literally a completely new man. It's phenomenal to watch.
It's an amazing thing. So during this retreat also, we will have a men's circle as such. There will be at night time we'll have a fire pit there where we can all sit around and talk. I'll be taking a few of the guys that want to come along to Springbrook National Park Falls, which is a beautiful part of the Gold Coast hinterland, out the back of Gold Coast, with these beautiful natural falls, and we've got Jurassic trees, a large amount of... You'll be in this quiet space where in these hollow caves or whatnot, and you'll hear the water drop. Tank. It's very meditative. You can actually feel yourself becoming more part of nature and connected. But we almost had to change things, right? Because COVID's happening. Well, it's been happening for a while, right? So you were going to change the plans last week, right?
Yeah, so this retreat was originally booked way earlier in the year, and that was when COVID-1 hit, and we had to postpone it. So we postponed. It grew between now and then because more people jumped on. So we went from, the last retreat we ran, I think we had maybe 8 or 9 dudes. This time we were up to about 18 people.
That's crazy.
But what happened was, we rebooked it, everything was good to go, all the deposits are down, all the logistics are sorted, and then, we had a couple of people jump a border, and COVID started in Queensland again, and there's 50 suburbs between where I live and where the retreat is that are now classed as restricted areas, have been deemed as hotspots. So the actual area where the retreat is still good, but, obviously we've still got another 2 weeks till it kicks off, so if it spreads, we're in trouble. So one of the things that I've had to learn throughout my life is pivot and move. There's no failure, there's only lessons. So, we'd already postponed it once, and I was determined not to postpone it this time. So the first thing we did is like, all right, number 1, is the campground still open? Number 2, what are the chances of it spreading? Number 3, what are our alternative locations? So the first thing we did is we slid the dates. We changed the dates and slid them right for a week to buy us time to try and book extra places. We've got about 3 or 4 places north of here where there's no recorded cases of COVID and no chance of it shutting down. So, worst case scenario, we might be able to rebook and slide it up there. But we had to move very quickly because there's 18 guys who have all put their money down, and a lot of these guys are dependent on this retreat. Like, they are hanging for this retreat to sort of move forward with their mental health. So the last thing I want to do was have to postpone it again.
Yeah, and not all of these guys aren't CEOs by any means.
No.
Some of these guys have actually sacrificed a lot of their quality of life and time to invest in themselves in this. So this is an amazing retreat for a lot of men to come into. And so this will be another event that will be happening again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously we've got to be careful with the way we schedule with COVID and stuff. So, but it's going to be an ongoing thing. We look at different locations. Eventually, if and when the borders reopen, my goal is I'd love to run retreats in each state, bounce around from state to state, so people don't have to fly interstate to actually have them. But for the time being, it will be Queensland based, but we may have to punch further north for future ones to get away from the hotspots.
So with plans, try to always be flexible in your plans. And always learn the lessons from those plans. We've got his children in the background there, cheeky wee things. We've got 2 birthdays coming up.
There's faces smeared on windows at the moment looking at us making a video.
So the idea is be flexible in your plans. Learn the lessons of why that plan didn't work and adjust it. And by all means, if that goal doesn't reach, be happy that you exhausted every avenue possible. To try and fail is commendable. To try and give up, I mean...
Giving up's the only failure.
Yeah.
Within everything, I mean, most people have probably heard it by now. I'm a firm believer that there's no such thing as failure. You either win or you learn. If you learn from what went wrong, it's not a failure because you can go back at it.
You can.
My philosophy on business, my philosophy on life, and this has taken me a lot. If there's anybody who's qualified at failing, it's me. I've fucking failed so many things in my life. Failed, but it took me 37 years. I'm 39 now, but it took me 37 years to figure this out, that it wasn't failing, I was learning. Success is literally the accumulation of your failures. That is it. That is all success is. It is an accumulation of failures. I think it was Thomas Edison who said he didn't discover how to make a light bulb, he discovered fucking 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. So the only real failure is giving up.
It is. So I just want to leave it there for everyone, but please do get in touch with Neil at the Black Dog Brotherhood. And you also have a female version, yeah?
We do. We have Black Dog. So we have Black Dog Coaching, which is the overarching company, and inside of that
Yeah.
we have Black Dog Brotherhood and Black Dog Sisterhood. The reason we've segregated them is that a part of our program is you actually come into a closed community. It's a Facebook group, but it's a closed community, private group, and obviously we have men in one group, women in the other. Same program. Obviously, I deliver the men's program, but we have 2 female coaches who deliver the Sisterhood program and run the closed group for the Sisterhood. Because what that does is having a group of men in one group where nobody else can look in, where there's no female influence, it provides a safe space. And Corey can testify to this. We've seen men who have come in and they've gotten stuff off their chest that they've never spoken publicly before. And the second that they do that, the second they speak their truth in a safe environment and find that they've got 50, 60, 70 other men going, you know, here's my story as well, here's how that affected me, here's how I got through that. It creates not only a safe space, but a place where men can actually support one another. Because between every dude that we've got in there, we cover everything. We've got guys who've beaten every addiction you can imagine. We've got guys with PTSD, depression, anxiety, divorce. Yeah, you know, if you can, sexual abuse, childhood abuse, anything that you can think of, somebody in the Brotherhood has been through it, and they've all shared their story inside there. And what that does is it provides a permission slip for every other man to share their story. And I can tell you from my personal experience, and I know Corey will second this one, when you speak your truth, when you get your truth off your chest and speak it without restraint, it's like a fucking boulder. It just gets lifted off of your chest. It's like it's like years of crushing weight are just lifted off of you the second you can speak your truth in a safe environment.
It's amazing how freed you feel from it.
Yes.
And that core person of who you are, you feel like you can actually start to find that person again from there.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As I said, Black Dog Coaching for the men and the women out there, as young and old. We do the youngest that we have I've seen in the group is 19, and the oldest would be Neil at 85.
Fucking feel 85. I think we've had early 50s. We've had early 50s, and they actually did really well in the program. So,
and we're always looking for those older generation who can help us, younger generation, learn more about how we can establish contact with them and how we can work with each other as well, through that lived experience. But anyway, Neil, as always, a pleasure.
Peace.
Knuckles, that's all we can do these days. No hugs.
I think it's a COVID bump, isn't it? COVID bump.
Yeah, ooh, sharp elbows. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Keep watching. Remember, 2 weeks' time, we're going to be down there in the Gold Coast for the Black Dog Coaching Men's Retreat. Keep watching. We'll see you soon.